Inviting people for dinner. Obviously, it's a good action.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good action. Keeping in touch with people.
Keeping in touch with
That's
people.
one way.
Yes. Keeping in touch with the people, and also you see that life is a stream of actions. The morning we wake up, one action, go to the restroom, second action, third action, fourth action. So life is a stream of action. Thought is also an action.
And of habits.
Yeah. You see that every action, even going to the restroom, is an action. So life is a stream of action. Now see what happens when the mind adds its own preferences, bias, likes and dislikes. The action becomes impure. The mind becomes impure. This is what the teaching of the Eastern wisdom. I'm taking you totally in a different... you see that? So what happens? That I becomes the focal point. I becomes the focus of all actions. What Eastern wisdom says? The Eastern wisdom says, can you replace this I for action? In order to express happiness, I'm inviting people for a dinner. I will not get happiness by inviting people. Are you picking up? I'm expressing happiness, inviting people for dinner. I'm expressing happiness, helping people. I'm expressing happiness in relationship. I'm expressing happiness in any action that I do. I clean the house, wash the plates. I express happiness in sleep. So now see that. What happens? The very mind that has likes and dislikes, that has some preferences, that has some bias, changes. The mind becomes empty. It is because of this Buddha says compassion. It is because of this the Buddha says non-violence. It is because of this Buddha says right knowledge. Now see that one point, very important. Life is a stream of action, very clear. What is that who is present in all the stream of action? The mind. Mind is present, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mind is present in all the actions at every moment in life. But if the mind is pure, pure means what? So don't take it in a different way. The mind, what the meaning of the mind is pure? Mind has a higher vision of expressing happiness and love for all, not for one. The mind has a tremendous strength and a capacity. So that is not limited, then it is pure. Our definition of purity is totally different. So that is the reason we practice mindfulness. Mindfulness or meditation is not practiced for the sake, oh, just induce relaxation and calm. These are the byproducts. They will definitely come. But we have a greater vision. Now see what happens in mindfulness. Then we will do. When we start expressing happiness, I leave my I behind. That becomes secondary, and primary is expressing happiness. So when the primary objective is to express happiness, love, and the wisdom, I goes into the background. What happens? Then the infinite possibilities are available for the mind. Because it is the I that limits my mind.
Yeah.
I like it, limited. I dislike it, limited. I have anxiety, limited. I have a pleasure, limited. Now this I is gone. The sole motivation and the vision is to express happiness at every moment. That is what my master used to say. Keep smiling. It is because of this. So internally, our entire perception has changed. And then what happens? See the other point? Even the small action or the big action doesn't matter. The happiness matters. Expressing happiness matters. Expressing calmness matters. Maintaining that awareness matters. So what happens then? Then the mindfulness enters into the life.
Yeah, you have two opposites there, right?
Do you see that? The mindfulness enters into day-to-day life. Mindfulness enters into all actions of the life. Yeah, teach.
You have to stay on the ball.
What did you say?
You have to stay on the ball.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is very important, and you can lose it very easily.
Very easily, yes. That leads us to that. Then, how to reach to that state in order to maintain the status quo? We don't forget. We remain on the board. So one master says the seed sown cannot become a tree overnight. So that seed has to be sown in a fertile soil, and that is what the practice is. So then it grows into a sapling. It means I have to protect my experiences of mindfulness from all the other influences. As the sapling grows, it becomes big, then I have other tools and the practices by which I keep protecting the tree until it blooms the flowers. So that flower is an inner perception. It is an inner state of calmness that is maintained. You play your role outside. Philippe, please, don't do this. You show a big face, but internally you are calm. Outside you play your role. You don't change anything outside. You change everything inside. So now flowers have bloomed, and then comes the fruits. Until that tree of our regular practice results into the fruits, the life is changed. Then we are able to express happiness, love, and the wisdom in all our actions that we perform in daily life. That is known as transformation. That is known as awakening. That is known as that we have achieved, we have reached to a level where the mindfulness has entered into our life, into all the streams of action, then what happens? There is a freedom of suffering, and freedom from the bondage and limitations caused by the mind. That is also known as the realization of God. So God is not, staying in a heaven and from there He rules. It is not God is not an instrument of religion. The religion has to do nothing. So that God means that consciousness is present in all the actions. It pervades all the actions. You rightly said we forget it, we lose it, we are not on the board. So not on the board is due to the mind. The mind creates that I want happiness if I do this action. I will be unhappy if I perform this. Small, big, large, all the actions are done for the sake of happiness, not for the sake of I. The mind starts transformation. That is what the masters have shown us, have guided us, have inspired us to tread the path to reach to that state. Let us start our journey today. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Close your eyes. And the eyes are closed. So we settle down consciously. How do we settle down consciously? By being comfortable. Being comfortable. So simple. Looking at the neck joint, feeling the sensation, and being comfortable and steady. So you see, and that we are going slowly. Why? We don't want the mind should rush. When the mind is running, it loses its awareness. It is not on the board. Looking at the shoulder joints, feeling the sensation, and being comfortable. And there is a sense of steadiness. Knee joints, ankles and the toes, the mind, you are aware. One, you are comfortable. Two, and there is a sense of steadiness. And we hold on to this steadiness. Instead, the mind is thinking that I have a lot of distractions. Don't worry. We need not to think even of those thought that enters into the mind, and that makes us comfortable. The second part of the settling, the mind will always complain. It will blame, it will react, either inside or outside. So we have already left the blame and the complaint outside. So what is left now? Inside. From where it comes? From the thought. Where from the thought comes? From the impressions in the past. Can I know the impressions before? No. They are very subtle. What is subtle? That is not perceived. The thought can be perceived, known, experienced. So there we hold on. Let the thought come, let it go. We don't hold on to any thought, good, bad, high, low, likes and dislikes. They all come from outside. That is our second part of the settling. We are settling ourselves before we move into the journey of the mindfulness. And the third point, to just get a perception, an experience, we are natural. So when we say mindfulness practice, it can start from any action, any step. Normally we say, no, we have to do this as a first step and the second. No. Let us see. When the breath goes in, just say Shantoham. The breath comes out, say Shantoham. Now see what happens to the mind. The mind goes to the other thoughts when we are doing Shantoham. Breath goes in Shantoham. Breath comes out Shantoham. You rightly said the mind has to be on board. And that is how these masters have discovered many steps to keep the mind on the board. And now we raise our awareness. How? See that the moment the breath goes in, drop Shanto. When the breath returns, hum. Breath goes in, Shanto. Breath returns, hum. Breath goes in, Shanto. Breath key. Shanto, hum. Shanto, hum. Shanto, hum. Shanto, hum. But we have to make little more penetration so that the mind remains in that state. The breath goes in, so simple. What is required at this stage? Persistent and discovering new level of awareness. We can go little far, little deeper. Deeper means what? Deeper simply means subtle. It's okay. Deeper means subtle. The mind has not perceived, and now we are perceiving. What is that? The breath goes in, Shanto. Breath returns, hum. Breath goes in, Shanto. Breath returns, hum. Can we do the reverse? to break the habitual pattern, habitual way of the mind. When the breath goes in, hum, returns, shanto. Hum, shanto. Hum, shanto. Hum, when the breath. But we do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. We do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Now comes what we can see. The mind can still drop hum and shanto without any lack of awareness. That is what you mean by on board. So we have to do permutation and combination. Can I see the blankness, the space in the mind with the shanto hum? Yes, we can see it. Now when the breath goes in, drop shanto hum. When the breath returns, become aware of the space, a movement of the breath coming out. Means, movement of the space means, a sense of nothingness, even for a few seconds. Again the breath goes in, shanto hum. Breath returns, space. That is the most important. Now we are going from something to nothing. What is that nothing? A space. We see the emptiness. breath goes in Shantoham, and when it returns, let the mind become aware that the action of natural exhalation has no Shantoham. An action of inhalation has Shantoham. And now even leave the Shantoham. Maintain awareness of the breath going in and out. I have been talking and giving that step again and again. So that was an advanced step. What is that three-pointed awareness? The breath goes in and out. First point of awareness. Second, you feel the sensation of the breath going in and out. Third, no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath. That will bring a deeper state. So you are still in the state of doing nothing. At the same time, your awareness on the three-pointed breath action first is going in and out, feeling the sensation and no change. The continuity happens. It is because of this I always give this step in the mindfulness in different ways, so that we remain on the board. You're still in a state of doing nothing and you're there. And now see, you still are on the board. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside, know your experiences and bring the hands down.